been badly made in a technical sense, but they're still great records.
Right.
And you know, you may play them now in a club and the frequency range is reduced because the pressing of the record was bad originally, the masters were really bad, or you know, there's muffles on them, but the fact is that they're still great records. And I think it's very easy these days to play, for some DJs to play 2 hours of new records, brand new records that have all been made in the same software, that are all the same frequency band, and it's a block of sound. And if you look on, for example, SoundCloud, you can see some DJ sets and it's just one block of sound,
yeah.
And it's out of the, you know, it comes out of a sound card, it's all compressed and it's just data. Whereas a lot of the music I play, you know, I take things from all over the place. So there are some records that are so old and the production is very, very raw, super raw and gritty, and then there are modern things where it's a lot more polished and
can you name some names of artists that?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you listen to like any of the old Trax records, you know, they're all so gritty and raw. You know, the old and there's things on DJ International and a lot of old Chicago house. Some of the early Detroit techno records, the production is raw, but that's a quality of techno that I always feel needs to be retained. Even in modern techno, there needs to be the records that I really love are the ones that there's some element somewhere in there that's a little bit raw, even if the sheen is beautiful and there are, you know, incredible sonics. And I feel that the producers that are the most successful and are the most, or certainly that make the music that speaks to me directly to my heart, are the ones that incorporate that somewhere in there, you know, and do it very well. An example of that is the Frenchman Agoria. Sebastian's music. He has an incredible ear for, you know, sonically, his records are beautiful. They're absolutely spotlessly well produced, but they're always somewhere in there. There are always details. And Carl Craig. Carl's always had, you know, he's always had his when he was first producing records, that they were super raw. They were produced on a very basic setup, but the amount of soul that he infused into that is mind blowing. And what he's developed over the years is his sound has become, as his engineering skills have become incredible. Yeah, the frequencies become wider. So the sonics are bigger, but he still has the raw element underneath, and that's more important to me than making something that is, you know, has all the big tricks of the day and all the flashy tricks. The flashy tricks are kind of, you know, I kind of see it as I see all that as their devices to be deployed at certain moments sometimes. But you know, if everything is all about that, then that's actually not really at the heart of the matter for me personally. I'm more about, you know, the other side of it.
So that means that, for example, Carl Craig's music is even suited to listen to in an environment like this.
That's right, exactly, as well. And you know, and that's important to me as well. You know.
Of course. And then I guess we should then automatically move over to your own music, because well, you have two things out. One was Can't Do Without, and then you have another one out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so well, we'll speak about as we're talking about Carl Craig. Yeah, that I have a single out this week on Planet E, his label.
And, his label, yeah.
And I've been doing some touring with him for the 20 years of Planet E, a celebration for the label. So I did some dates with him and Derek May in America. We did New York and Detroit, which was my first gig in Detroit.
Really?
In March, and what was amazing about it really was the fact that in New York I opened up, I played first, and then Carl and Derek, and then when we went to Detroit, Carl opened up, and then I played in the middle, and then Derek closed the night, and it was one of those experiences that, you know, as a DJ, you know, sometimes you're asked in interviews, people say, oh, what would be your dream gig? So you think of all these situations, you know, but this gig was basically playing in the middle of the night in Detroit, and many of the producers that have inspired me since I was 15 years old were there.
They were there.
They were all there.
Really?
Anthony Shakir, Kevin Saunderson, and even a few younger guys now. Kyle Hall, Kyle was there. There was Naomi Daniels' son was there. And Naomi Daniels' son on the Stars track, which came out on Planet E years ago.
I see.
Juan Atkins came later on. Sherrod Ingram from Urban Tribe was there. Stacey Pullen and his wife Andrea were there, and it was magic. You know, it was an incredible night, and to have come through this journey, and to have been doing what I've been doing, and I have to say that playing at Space has always been. It's obviously always been amazing, but it's always been an interesting fit for me, because what I do in many ways is I suppose it is quite niche. You know, I'm not kind of, I know that what I'm doing is not it's not for everyone. It's not a populist what I do. You know.
So you actually rather prefer to stay on maybe the instrumental level rather than to go over a crossover with singers and.
Oh no, not at all. No. It's I love working with vocals. It's just that I'm not gonna do it by halves. And I've always waited for the right opportunities for that, and I've been offered some things in the past through remixing that I've kind of taught myself how to work with vocals properly.
Right.
But the fact is that I've tried things out in the past and not released them with a number of vocalists, and it's been one of those things that when it's right, and I don't want to kind of put something out that's,
no, of course, yeah.
You know, and it's happened so many times over the years that I've been releasing records, that there's most of my catalogue up into, in fact there's a handful of maybe 10 or 15 tracks that I love that I've released, and the rest of it is, I'll say now, the rest of it's bullshit.
Right.
Yeah. It's as simple as that, you know. And now the material that I'm working on now is the material that I've kind of I've come to the point where my mind is in the right place to create properly, rather than creating and trying to find my way, you know.
So do you play? How much do you play of yourself when you do like a gig at Space? Or
I play what's appropriate, you know. I know a lot of DJs that all their charts and all their sets are just full of their own music.